this is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, and I want to show you how I'm crafting with leather and binding with screw posts. So the first thing is I just made this little tattered floral flower out of leather. I just simply die cut it and embossed it and went over it with some different colors and stuff. And then I attached it using some screw posts. These, let's see. It was the first time I ever used these before. I mean, they've been around for forever, but yeah, that's what I use. These little nickel-plated iron screw posts that I gotten from Hobby Lobby. And you do have to have a screwdriver in order to screw them in. And then I also, and the leather that I used was this little pack of Real Leather Crafts. Silver Creek Leather Company. You can get that at Hobby Lobby as well. So, and then I made this little, I guess you could call it a policy envelope, or it's not really it's like an envelope slash notebook or whatever. So here it is, and it flips up like that. And now when I originally made this, the cover, it was a different color, but I just wasn't satisfied with it. So you'll see in the video, I've used so many different colors on this thing just to try to get it to my satisfaction. So yeah, I've used paints, distress oxides, and all kinds of stuff. So this is what it looks like. And I also messed up right here. When I put the string in, I should have put it going in on the bottom portion instead of going through the top, but whatever. What's done is done. So this flips up, and I just did a little collaging on here. And these are just basically scrap papers that I just had laying around. It's just a little notebook that you can use to journal in. Real simple, nothing major. Just scrap papers, torn and put together. So let me show you how I made it. And like I said, there are some steps in there that if you want to omit, you can, because basically close to the end of the video is when I changed my mind because I didn't like how this looked. So yeah. So go ahead and, if you like, get ready to watch the process. Okay, so I have some leather that I've never worked with, like real leather before, and I just got it from Hobby Lobby. This is Real Leather Crafts. It's like a package of scraps. Silver Creek Leather Company. So I want to use it along with some of these screw posts. I've never used these either. These are similar to like grommets and rivets and things like that. So I'm just playing around. Like I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to take a die. I'm just going to use the Sizzix Tattered Florals die. And I'm just going to cut out some of these flowers. Because I want to make some trinkets with it. And so we're just going to kind of see what happens, like where it goes. So I'm going to put my plates here. I got my bottom flat plate, got my die, and then I've got my leather. I'm just going to cut it to size. And I'm using scraps that way. If I mess up, it's not like I've spent too much. So I'm gonna put that in there. And die cut it. And I've never die cut leather before. So before I lift this up, I'm just going to run it back through again to make sure that one part cut. I don't think, oh, it did cut. Okay. Sometimes these dies don't act right and they won't break off like they're supposed to. So, these did do good. Very impressed. And of course I'm going to keep my scraps. Okay, so we have some shapes here. And I'm just going to do 4 in this demonstration because, like I said, I've never done this before. And I don't want to waste any material. So, let me just move this out the way. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to emboss it. And I'm just using the Sizzix 3D Textured Impressions. Courtney Chilson. Courtney Chilson, I guess. It's an Ellis dye folk art pattern. Okay, so now with these 3D embossing folders, they're similar to your older embossing folders, where the older ones you have to have your platform and you have to have your 2 cutting mat or cutting plates. Well, with the 3D texture ones, basically the embossing folder itself is like a plate and an embossing folder all in one. So you basically only have to have something on the top that runs through your die. So I've got my platform, and I'm just going to put my little, just going to put these in here. Some are going to be like, some of them I'm going to turn upside down, and then some of them I'm going to do right side up. That way some can be like embossed one direction and the other one's going to be embossed a different direction. So yeah, we're going to see what we can do. I might just have to do 2 of them, 2 different ones. Let's make sure that they fit on here right. And you only have to run it through once. I'm just rolling it back just because it's easier for me. And I've got this is the extended platform that comes with this Sizzix Vintage Big Kick. But typically I use just the magnetic platform. It's a little shorter one. And it comes with the standard, these are the standard size plates. But you can get extended plates, but you don't have to, because the regular size plates still work. So that's why I just stick to this. But anyway, here is our embossed leather. I'm going to show you on both sides what they look like. Yeah, I love that. Love that texture. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and emboss this. Okay, so we have some texture on there. Okay, so I'm going to put this up and then we're going to work around. I'll probably add some color to those too. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of these alcohol inks and I'm just going to color these little flowers. So these are Tim Holtz, Teakwood, Mermaid, and Indigo. See that or not? Anyway, so I'm just gonna, I think I'll do blue first, or green first. These inks, obviously, you know, are like, they will stain. So I'm gonna try not to get my hands on them too bad. So I've got this little stick. It's just a little old wooden popsicle stick or whatever you want to call it. It's just a wooden stick. And I'm just going to spritz some of these little colors on here. Like I said, I haven't really dealt with leather, so I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. Yeah, So I can get some different colors on it. And then I've got this rag, not rag, but it's a wipe. And I'm just gonna see what I can do. I'm just gonna wipe up this mess is what I'll do, because, oh, cool, I like how it does that. So I took the wipe, and of course it moistens the ink, and so I can just dab some of that ink onto some of these flowers to give them like a base coat or a base color. I'm just gonna make them all pretty much the same color. I don't think I'm gonna come through with this brown because it might be a little too dark. So yeah, these are pretty dark. I'm gonna come back with some more sprays. I'm just gonna try this speckled egg distress spray stain. I don't even know. I'm just playing this by ear, so it's not like I had this planned out. So I have no idea, or didn't have any idea, how it was going to turn out before doing this. So we're just going to see. Playing with leather. I don't know how that's going to turn out. Okay, so I've never embossed leather before. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I'm just going to give it a shot just to see what's going to happen. So it's still wet. I've got some embossing markers, Tim Holtz. Let me see how this is going to turn out. I don't know. This is clear, so we're going to see how this is going to work. I'm just going to kind of go into some of the embossed areas. Let me just kind of zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm just kind of going to some of the embossed areas of this. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're going to look and see. I'm just going to go around the edge. Okay. Then I'm just going to sprinkle some, let me move these out of the way. I want to sprinkle some of this embossing powder on here. Flick it off a little bit. Then I'm just going to take the embossing tool and emboss it. Move this out of the way. Okay, so it's embossed and it kind of curled up a little bit, which is fine. Let me zoom back out a little bit so you can see a little bit better. But I kind of like that, you know. Yeah, it's a little different. So these, I'm not really satisfied with it. So I think I'm just gonna see what happens when I just add some, yeah, I like that. To me, that's better. I'm just adding some Distress Oxide on here. I'm gonna add it on both sides. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna blend it. Just gonna run this, each petal across, well, the back part of the petal across this ink pad, so it can pick up some more of that color. And what I may do is still add some embossing powder to it just to kind of seal these colors in. I like that green. And it picks up some of the embossed texture. Yeah, I think that looks better than just these speckled looking things. Yeah. See how it's starting to pick up the textured look? Or the texture that's into one unit, one flower. And then I'll put this in the center. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an awl, and I'm just going to poke a hole. Be careful if you're going to do it like this. I'm going to poke a hole in the center of it, of this flower. I just want to make sure it's big enough. I should have made it directly in the center. It's fine because I can still do some stuff with it. Okay, so now that's pretty much in the center. I'm going to poke one in the center of this. I could take my crocodile if it'll reach far enough. I don't know if it'll even do that or not. Yeah, it'll reach in the middle. And I just poked a small hole. Oh, it's not directly in the center. I might have to punch a little bit bigger hole. I hate when I do that. Oh, that's not in the center. That's fine. That's not the center either. Oh my goodness. We'll still make it work. Let me go back over this and punch a hole. It's in the middle. Okay, yeah. There's that. Let's see if I can get to the center of this. Close enough. And then I need to get into the center of this one. If I can get there. Okay, so it's a small little hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test to see. I might have to go back over with a bigger hole punch, but I'm just going to see if this is going to fit in there. So there's two parts. There's, let me zoom back a little bit. You have the part that like screws into here. So I guess you basically just take a screwdriver and screw it in there, I guess. That's what I'm going to do. So let's see. So this is the bottom, and you want the hole to be snug in there. So let me see if it'll fit. I might have to go a little bit bigger on the hole. So yeah, it does fit. But actually, this is going to go down into here. So let me just cut this a little bit bigger. I hope I don't mess it up. Okay. And then we're just going to place this down here to here. And I'm just going to layer each one on top of each other. And this is going to screw into it. So you should probably have a screwdriver with you. You're probably supposed to have this on like a fixture or something to kind of keep it like not moving around. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's just try like this. Let's see. So that's what I'm doing, is just tightening it up. Now this is kind of loose. I don't know if it's because I don't have enough layers. Or I could just attach this to something. So instead of it just being like by itself, I can just connect it to something. Okay, so yeah, this is okay. It's all the way screwed in if you look at it carefully. It just has a little bit of give. So these can turn if you need them to, which is kind of cool. So the next thing I'm going to make, I have a piece of leftover embossed paper, or a chipboard actually. And this measures, let's see, 4 1/4 by 5, yeah, 5 by 4 1/4. I'm just going to cut another piece the same size. So we have 5 by 4 1/4. So these are the same sizes. And then I'm just going to get some random paper. Okay, let me put this up first so I don't lose it. So I'm just going to get some random paper and fold it in half like a journal. Might leave that out. Okay, so basically all I'm going to do is, it's going to be vertical. So these papers are going to be like a vertical journal. And since this is the smallest sheet, I'm just going to measure these up against it. just going to tear. And I'm just going to distress the edges. Okay, so I have all these distressed. Okay, so I'm just going to take my awl, and the same way that I do with all of my journals, I'm just going to clamp the papers together so that they don't move around as I'm trying to cut a hole in the center for the spine of this. And I'm just going to pierce a hole straight through. I'm going to pierce 2 holes actually. And I'm simply just going to take some string. I'm going to come in. No, I should do 3. I'll do 3 holes. And the same way we do, instead of using a needle, threading the needle, I'm just going to come through the middle like we do. And I'm just going to push this through there, through that hole, because I don't feel like threading the needle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just going to push this through here. This string is from a throw that I have that came apart. So I just decided I'm just going to keep the string from it. So I'm dropping everything. So yeah, you can use a needle, which is the way you're supposed to do it, but yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna push this through here. Get on in there now. Just be careful if you do decide to do it like this, okay? So you don't hurt yourself. Just gonna pull that through. Then I'm gonna come up through this top hole. Well, I'm gonna pull this through, and of course, you know, with all your journals, you want to leave some extra hanging string. Then I'm gonna come back through the top. I'm just gonna pierce it back. Not pierce it, but I'm just gonna thread it back through there. It'll go in there. That's why you need a needle. And then you're just gonna come on down in the middle, and then you're gonna go through this one. Okay. I'm just going to tie it. And then just clip it. And so now you have this. Okay, so I'm going to connect these together. This is the inside of like a little pamphlet, I guess, or like a little notebook, I guess, journal notebook. These are going to connect. This is going to be the front, the one with all the embossing on it, and then this back piece. And then I also cut out two pieces of connectors, is what I'm gonna call them. And I'm gonna connect, one portion is going to connect to this, the front cover, and the inside panel of the notebook. And then the next one is going to connect to the back portions of the back notebook, back piece of the notebook, and the back portions of it. And then I'm going to connect these two together. I'll show you the process, but let me decorate this first. So I'm just going to take this little Ranger embossing pen. I've never used it, so I'm not real sure how it's going to turn out. So I'm just going to, I know you only have a small margin of time between where you can put your embossing powder onto the item that you're embossing. And oh, I got the wrong color. This is, well, I can still use green. I'm going to be using some fossilized, no, this is embossing glaze, rustic wilderness. I was going to say fossilized amber, but that's not it. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just do some leaves on here. Some of these embossed leaves, as you can see it really good or not, I don't know. And I might just do each one by one, just to see how it's going to turn out. Because, like I said, you can't leave it wet. Well, it dries pretty quickly, so you want to go ahead and do what you got to do. So that's what that looks like. And I'm going to do a few more of these like that. Okay, so I just added some more to different parts of the front page, or the front cover. So I'm just going to take some of this Twisted Citron Distress Oxide, and I'm just going to run it across the page. And see how it kind of picks up the different pieces of embossed areas of the book, of the front panel. I like that. So I'm just going to dry it. And then I'm just going to take some Distress Oxide. I'm going to take the little blending tool, and I'm going to take some of this broken china across it. I would spread this across, but I'm not sure if the ink is completely dry, and I don't want to take a chance of messing up this block. So I'm just going to put a little bit of blue on it, you know, in different areas. And I'm also going to put some on the inside too. I'm going to cover the inside panel of this right here with a piece of designer paper of some sort. Yeah, I'm gonna come back across it with some vintage photo. Just around the edges. I'm just going to come back through with the white, and I'm just going to wipe off some of this embossed area that's got the distress oxides over top of it. I just want to make it more pronounced so that they show really well. And I'm just taking my pointer finger and going across it, just kind of like wiping it off basically. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, and then I'm going to add some paper to here. I'll probably just add some old book pages on here. Okay, so I have these on here now. So now I need to, now I'm going to glue these on. And I'm probably going to use some double-sided tape to connect them. Somehow I've messed this roll of tape up. I don't know what I did, but ooh, it's a mess. Somehow. Let me see where it starts. Okay, so I'm just going to add this double-sided tape to both sections of this hinge. So I'm going to put it on both sides because it's going to need it. Okay, I'm gonna slide this up. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the tape off of one side Now keep in mind it's going to bend. So I'm going to go ahead and place this one near the line, near this line right here. But I'm going to leave like a slight small margin from where it's at. Hold on. You can see the line right here. But I have like a small little gap in between this and the line right here. And then I'm going to leave this top part on. And then I'm going to take this back portion I'm just going to fold this part like that. And I'm going to put, let's see which one's going to be the front. I guess it doesn't really matter which one's the front. I'm going to add this on here. And I'm just going to burnish it. Slide that over, and then I'll do the same thing to this. I'll go ahead and fold it on its crease. And this is going to be the backs, and this is going to be the inner part. So I'm just going to place this here. And then I'm going to take this side, a piece of this side off. Matter of fact, I'm going to take all of this off. I'm going to take both of these off, and I'm going to connect the two together. But first I'm going to line this up. I'm going to fold this back. I'm going to line it up. Make sure I burnish that really well. Make sure it's sewn real good. Then I'm going to connect these two, because they already have sticky tape. But if you need to, you can add more glue if you don't think they're going to hold. So I might just add a little bit of art glitter glue just in case, because I don't want it to come apart. And then I'm just going to glue it together. I'm just going to fold the creases and make sure that these two are stuck together really well. And like I said, this is the hinge, and this part's going to connect into the book or journal or whatever I'm going to put it into. So, but I'm going to leave this on here until I get ready to apply it to the journal. And I still feel like this needs something on the front, so I'm going to put some of these Nuvo drops, Dream Drops, and this is Frosted Lake. I was about to say Frosted Flake, but yeah. I just ordered these not too long ago from Felicia from the Neat Sweets. So I'm gonna see how this does. I'm just gonna put that there in the center. I think I'll put a couple of dots spaced out down here. I don't want to overdo it, you know, so it's just enough to give it a little bit of bling. So we're just going to set that to the side to let it dry. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to create like a leather closure for this. Like I said, I've never really worked with leather before, so let me see. I'm going to, this flap is going to come up to about right here. I'm just going to glue, let's see how far along I want it, and I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeballing. I'm probably messing this up, but oh well. That's what art is. You do what you gotta do for art. I hope I don't ruin it. If I do mess up, I'll just use this and these leftover pieces in another project. Okay, so now these Nuvo drops are still wet, so I'm still kind of playing around trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So I do need a flap, and this is going to glue down to here, and this is going to come up like so. I haven't glued it yet, but I'm trying to get a base of what I'm trying to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold this over to where it meets right here. And then I'm going to cut this down to where it meets at this corner. So from this point to this point, I'm just going to cut. And wish me luck. Hopefully I'm not going to screw this up, but I don't know. I probably will, but I don't know. Okay, so let's see what we have. Well, the goal was to have an even point, but yeah, it's not quite even. I should have, the smart thing to do was to have rolled this over to the side. Okay, so now let's try it like this. I'm cutting into part of it. That might be a little bit better. It's a little bit better, but not exactly what I want. Because it's not completely even. So, but that's fine, because I can just take this little piece right here. I'm just showing you all my flaws and where I'm messing up at. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So this is going to come down, it's like a flap. And this is going to come up. And I'm going to create a closure I don't have a circle hole punch that'll cut leather, so I'm going to have to improvise. And I may just use cardstock and paper. I think that's what I'll do. So I'm just going to cut 4 of these out. Then I'm going to glue these together. Then I'm just going to punch out 2 pieces of these. Then I'm going to distress the sides. Okay, and then I'm just going to punch out another set, and these are going to be the guide to where I'm going to put these at. And I'm going to run them across some blue. And I'm just going to distress the edges. So I need to figure out precisely where these are going to need to go. This is going to need to go. Let's see. In the center. Okay. And then this one, oh, I messed that up, but I'll fix it in a minute. This one's gonna go right here. Okay, so let me take this out. And fix my mess up. And so I need to find my center point. Do the same thing here. Find the center. And then I'm going to take the crocodile and use a small end punch on it. Okay, so now I've got my string, and I also have some brads that I ordered off of eBay, and they're really cute. I'm trying to decipher which ones I want to use, but there are some, they have like a vintage look to them. It's like a vintage hand, pointing hand. Let me see if I can show you better like this. I don't know if you can see that or not really good. But yeah, I have some like that. But then I also have some other styles, like a vintage watch. I may use that. Nah. And then I also have a little bunny rabbit. But since this isn't an Easter thing, I'm not going to worry about using that. And then we have these little flourishes. I have like different color flourishes. Oh, and then I've got this little world button. It's a world button brad. And these were like extras because I had only ordered just the ones with the hands. So, I guess I'll use, I think I'm going to use the ones with the world instead of the flourishes. The flourishes are going to kind of take up the look. No, I think I'll use the black flourish. I have two black ones in here that I think will work. It's kind of bent a little bit, but that's fine. As long as it holds in place like it's supposed to. If not, then I'll use these as a backup. These are a little more sturdy. I'm going to keep those out in case the other flourishes bend. Okay, so I already punched my holes in these, so I'm going to go ahead and, since this is the top, I'm going to go ahead and feed the string through on both sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop one of these flourishes in, or flourish brads in. Put that in first, and then I'm going to put that in second. I'm going to turn the brad the way I want it to go on the outside. I wonder if I should turn it going up. I think I'll have it going up. Yeah. Then I'm going to close these brads, or this brad. And then I'm going to add this one on. I'm just going to put this one in here. Put this in here. And close it off. And then I guess I can add some glue. And I need something on the inside to kind of make it stay or take away from the look. And I'm going to create another one of these and put it right here. So I did this backwards. I should have put this in up underneath instead of going through the top. I should have had it going in through the bottom part of it so that this wouldn't show. But you know what? It is what it is. So we're just gonna roll it on around and wrap it on around in there. And I got ahead of myself and I got impatient and I started drying this with the heat gun, and so it kind of lost its shape. But it'll be alright. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set this in here. I'm gonna get a base idea of like where I want it to go. I have to slide it down just a hair, probably about right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and take this tape off, this double-sided tape, and I'm going to glue it on here. I'm gonna add a little bit of art glitter glue too, just in case, because I'm gonna make sure it's gonna stay. So I'm gonna try to keep it in the center where it's supposed to go. This is going to come down like so. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this piece off. And I'm going to also add some art glitter glue up here. And then this is just going to fold down. I'm going to burnish it. And what I might do is, just to make sure that it's going to stay, I might put some eyelets in here. I don't know. Okay, and then this is going to flip up like so. And then we're just going to twist this on in. Wait a minute, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to twist this down and around. Oops. I can get it right. So we're going to twist it up here, twist it back down here, and then down like so. And then we're just going to clip this off and leave a little tail. And you think I should take some of this off of the side or just leave it? I think I'll take some off the side. Sorry for the sirens in the background. I'm not sure what's going on outside. Yeah, I think it'll do better than me taking some of it off. And you can use any kind of leather or fabric or whatever you want to use to make like this cover right here, you know. I don't know why I'm struggling to get this cut. So voila. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think I'll leave this as it is so I don't mess it up. So this is basically what we have. We've got our, I made like a little embellishment here. It's not going to go on there, but using leather. So I think I'm going to take some blue around the edge of this. Let me unlock it. I'm just going to take some broken china. That's my son in the background laughing. So. So I'm just not satisfied with the colors of these. This gray, it's not contrasting enough. So I'm just going to paint over this cover like a white. I'm just going to use some acrylic gesso. It's just some plain old basic white gesso. And let me make sure I'm in frame. I'm just going to clip a little bit here, and then I'm just going to clip this. Hold on, let me put a clip on here, right here, so I don't get paint on it. And I'm just gonna like paint over it. I hate to have wasted all those oxide inks, but I don't like this color. And then I'm just going to take a damp rag, or you can take a wipe or something. And I'm just going to go over some of the elements that I don't really want covered up. And it's basically the parts that I embossed. That's what I'm going to kind of go over, so that it will show through this paint. I just wanted to know that it's just amazing how even with this second coat of paint, how the distressed oxide inks, their color still pulls through. They still maintain their properties somehow. It's really it's neat. At the same time, if you've already put some on here and you really don't want that color, it's annoying. But it just shows you that Distress Oxide inks, the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. They are pretty cool though in their own way at how they keep their color. Because it still has a green tint, but I really don't want green. So I'm just going to dry this. I'm just going to dry this, and then I'm going to come in with these two colors. I'm probably going to mess it up, but we're just going to work with it. So I'm just going to take some of this acrylic plum by Craft Smart. I'm just going to add just a dab because I know it's not going to need a whole lot. And then I'm just going to kind of mix it with this white. And I'm just going to kind of lightly brush over this in vertical strokes. Vertical and horizontal strokes. And it's pulling in some of those embossed areas, which I like. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean off the brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of blue, and this is Satin Acrylic Atlantis by Apple Barrel, multi-surface, outdoor, multi-surface, well, indoor and outdoor. 2197 1E satin acrylic paint. I'm just going to kind of go around the edges with blue. Okay, and so now I'm going to come in with this Brilliant Mica, Gold Mica, water-based pigment ink. I got this, I think, at Hobby Lobby a few years ago, and even then it had been sitting on the shelf for a while, so I don't know if this has an expiration date or not. But I'm going to shake it real well. And you can see it's really pretty. And I've got a separate brush, and I'm just going to dab it. And I'm just going to hit some of these, like the parts where that are raised up, the embossed, is when I'm just going to hit a little bit of. I don't want to overdo it, so I might leave it at that. I'm just going to dry it, and it appears to dry pretty quickly, so I don't know. I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to mess it up, but that's what I have so far, so I don't know. Do you think that looks better, or did it look better before? I think it feels like I'm missing something though, like it needs something dark. I don't know. I'm going to mix this gold. I'm probably It's probably not a good idea. But I want to see what it looks like mixed with blue. Maybe darken some of these areas. Maybe darken this rectangle shape a little more. I just feel like I'm missing something, but what it is, I don't know. So I'm just going to basically distress the outer edges of this with acrylic paint, blue acrylic paint. And there's a hint of gold also mixed in with it too. And I'm just going to come back through with the wet rag and just kind of make it to where it's faint. Just enough to give it a hint of the blue. Okay, I'm just going to go around the whole entire thing, including this little overlap, this top part up here. I'm just distressing it basically, the same way I do using distress oxides. I'm just going around the edges. And then I'm just making it faint by kind of rubbing off some of it. Just enough to kind of give it a hint of blue. And then I'm just going to let it dry. I'm going to go around this entire area with it. Okay, so now I think I'm satisfied with the color. So it's pretty dry as far as I know. I don't see any residue on my thumb or any, well, no, I don't see any residue. So yeah, it should be dry. So I just went around the edges with that acrylic paint and went back around it with the wet rag, just or damp rag. It wasn't like super saturated. And you know, just kind of made it to where it was just faintly in there, just enough to see the blue, but not too overwhelming. So do you think this looks better like before or after. To me, it looks better after, but you know, I like to get other people's opinion. So tell me what you think, and it'll kind of give me an idea next time what to do. I'll make another project similar to this and change my mind. That's what art is. We're always changing our minds. Well, I am anyway, because I'm never satisfied. It's hard to get me satisfied with stuff. But yeah, here's my little project share. So I hope that you liked it, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Do that. Click like, leave a comment in the comment section. Check out my other videos, my blog, my social media sites. And as always, I so much appreciate when you guys are watching. Thank you.